Hey, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Hayawam Tawab, which is good day. Nakna Waha, Barish Allah, Hawalakim La Adam, Call Shabawai Baharakha, Wakak Shaw, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Ma'amath, which is truly hey with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah to preach to so called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, Israelite foreigners. Nacham Madam, Kayah Malakwath Hashemayim Korah, repent ye for the kingdom. First and foremost, before we get started, I'm going to say, call Light Mlah, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. A double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone that taught us this truth and rule well. And much respect to you, bros, out there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. How you want to
Shalom.
wow? Good day, good day. All right, so pretty much we're going to get started into this article on RT.
God. So the article reads Israel willing to cause mass civilian casualties. This is from the New York Times. It says U.S. officials reportedly urged restraint after hearing Gaza compared to Hiroshima. The Israeli government is willing to kill large numbers of civilians in order to defeat Hamas in Gaza and told its U.S. partners in its private conversations, the New York Times has reported.
So essentially, going into a casualty, you got like civilians, those not involved in particular wars. All right, we're talking about like on a carnal aspect and carnal wars, So a civilian casualties is talking about people that pretty much have nothing to do with a particular situation. So they're willing to take um, people that's not uh, if liable is the word, they're not really liable for the things that's going on. They're just gonna take everybody out, and that's the spirit of an Edomite. You know,
Yep, that's it.
we
Continuing
keep going.
on, it reads President Joe Biden's administration continues to support Israel, but has become more critical of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his response to Hamas due to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, according to a news analysis the outlet published on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It became evident to U.S. officials that the Israeli leaders believed mass civilian casualties were an acceptable price in the military campaign, the New York Times claimed, adding that Israeli officials brought up the devastating bombings, including the use of atomic weapons against Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that the U.S. has employed against Germany and Japan during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
It reads The New York Times included the story in today's print edition, where it caught the eye of lawyer and activist Stephen Dosinger. This might help explain the massive scale of civilian and child death currently taking place in Gaza, Dosinger, Dosinger noted on Instagram. This mentality also might explain why Israel just dropped a huge bomb on the densely populated Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza and why it appears to be targeting civilians.
So again, when you talk about the Israelis and when we say Israelis, it's talking about it's not when you go to the etymology of that word, it's talking about those not of the 12 tribes of Jacob. That's what it says in the etymology.
Right.
Pretty much those that have their citizenship in the current state of Israel. All right, but I got a quick precept.
Uh,
This is Bon Sirach chapter 10, and we'll start at verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right, and that's why we see, pretty much in this Edomite hegemony, everybody but the elect is taking on the spirit of Esau. All right, so it says verse 3, an unwise king destroyed his people. Pretty much the point that I want to go into this article because they don't care. They destroy their own people. All right, and this is going into figuratively, and literally, or like the slow kill, and then also a literal kill going into this article because they're willing to drop bombs on their own people. You know, I'm gonna keep going. It says, "But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited." All right, so a wise king would handle that matter with wisdom, and then run his kingdom in wisdom.
right.
And the reason that all of these wars and things of that nature are happening is because Esau is ruling the world and righteousness. We keep going in the article.
Okay. I got a quick one for you too.
Okay.
This is Revelation 6 and verse 4. It reads, "And there went out another horse that was red, and
Mm-hmm.
power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth."
Because it said there was another horse that was red, roughly paraphrasing, and power went on him that sat thereon. Because Ayawab Job 9:24 said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. If something is in your power, it's in your grasp, it's in your control. All right, so everything is happening under the tutelage and the leadership of the so-called white man. All right, from Amalek all the way down to you six pack a beard Joe Edomites.
Mhm.
You keep going.
Okay. Okay. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another.
Mm-hmm.
And there was given unto him a great sword.
That they should kill one another. You see, in the spirit of the earth is everybody. It's a cutthroat world,
Right.
you know. And it said there was given unto him a great sword. And going back to Bonsrod chapter 10, that sword comes in many facets. It's multifaceted, which it has many faces, and it comes in various different means. Because this devil, his heart is deep. But pretty much, you got 2/3 of Jay that take on that spirit, and you even got the heathen that take on that spirit of just wanting to handle everything with violence. You know,
Exactly.
because every time we see you watch the cartoons when you was younger, it'll always be like a weird character in the corner. He be like talking about world domination. That's Esau.
Right. 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 In the NLT, it reads, "Then another horse appeared on a red one. Uh, another horse appeared, a red one. Its
Hmm.
rider was given a mighty sword and the authority to take peace from the earth. And there
Hmm.
was war and slaughter everywhere."
Hmm.
There
And if
was
you look
war.
at if you look at it's war and slaughter everywhere. But when you look at who creates all these weapons, guns, and who's the top distributor of weapons in the world, they all Edomite countries. I believe it starts with you got Russia, or you got U.S., then Russia, and you got France, and it was a top 15 list. Probably about I'm gonna say about 12 of those was Edomite countries, nations.
Going back to the article, it reads, "Focusing on Washington, the New York Times article revealed how Biden's administration initially believed it could get support for Israel just as they had for Ukraine, given the nature of the Hamas atrocities on October 7th, but soon realized this would be impossible.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, countries around the world, especially developing nations, are moving the other way as Palestinians' death toll grows. Even the European allies of the United States are divided on Israel's war, according to the outlet."
Constance says even European allies of the United States are divided on Israel's war. They have different uh, ideologies on what to do. You see, and what the scriptures say. Uh, it says it's in Matthew. It talks about if Satan be divided against Satan, how can his kingdom stand? You see, so being that they have different ideologies and they supposed to be allies, the scripture also say that can two walk together unless they be agreed? The answer is no. So eventually, that's what we see him, take place. But eventually, it's going to be even more. We seeing them break away the bricks, and you got the U.S. allies and stuff like that. We seeing everybody mount up with arms. We're seeing everybody take their sides. You know.
Uh, that's why the scripture says, the least of the flock shall draw them out,
Mm-hmm.
because these Israelis, are going to keep making moves to force America's hand, man. Because that's pretty much, they're tied hand in hand, man. So these two entities, are about to go to war, with the pretty much the rest of the earth, man. All
Mm-hmm.
these nations are seeing, right, the true colors, of Amalek, and since Amalek has ruling influence in Babylon the Great, they're
Mm-hmm.
all about to come against them, man.
We keep going.
I'm gonna grab that preset for you real quick.
Okay.
So, yeah.
because as the scriptures go into, it speaks on wars and rumors of wars. We're in a time of the wars. All right, we're seeing you got Ukraine and Russia, which they're not even talking about that anymore. That's essentially what this devil thrives off of.
Right.
He'll put something into the media, and that's what he wants people to think on. All right, and whatever else is going on, it's gonna be in the background. That's why it mentions in Matthew 6:22 to 23. What you have your focus on. All right, if you focus on the light, you're gonna be full of the light. If you focus on evil, you're gonna be full of that evil. So that's why the masses of the people, Esau can turn them every which way he wants to because of that media. He uses that deception. And these people that the masses, they don't have the spirit dwelling with them to be able to discern and to maneuver through these perils and these evil times.
Okay. This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25. It reads, And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation,
Mm-hmm.
and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And
Mm-hmm.
if
And that's
Satan,
my bad. I'm about to
go ahead.
say, it said a kingdom divided against itself can't stand. That's why Rome went down. It was super divided. When we looked at when you had Alexander the Great or the Creep, essentially it was him. But then after he passed, after he passed, it was four generals. And pretty much they was divided, and that kingdom went down as well. So when the kingdom is divided, it can't stand. This is what we see in this article, and that's the same way Esau has always went out. By using deception, uh, um, and moving as a snake, and being divided.
Right. Because there's never any cohesiveness, in the house of Esau, man. It's always,
Mm-hmm.
they all try to one up each other, right? Scriptures say, he that is greedy of gain destroyed his own house, man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we see happening right now is that greed, that these Edomites, have as a characteristic of their existence is starting
Mm-hmm.
to destroy their kingdom, man. Verse 26, it reads, And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How can then his kingdom stand?
He's not going to be able to stand. You know, being that they're divided against each other, it's not going to stand. Just like when we go to Isaiah chapter 19, I believe it's verse 2, the Egyptian against the Egyptian. If you're not standing as one, if you take a building, if you take away what gives it the strength, the foundation, that building is going to collapse. So what held America, Babylon the Great together? That so-called American dream. Pretty much people are listening to the military, but go buy you a house, get you a dog, grill out, stuff like that. That's no longer a factor. So we seeing this place starting to crumble, because people are fed up. That American dream um is being crumbled. That's why it says in Isaiah chapter 19, believe it's verse 3. I'm actually get it. This is Isaiah chapter 19. I get verse 3. So it says, And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counts thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So pretty much when the spirit of a place, the morality of a place is destroyed, that kingdom starts to fall. We've seen it with Rome, you know.
That's right. Continuing on the article, it reads, If anything, the countries around the world, especially developing nations, are moving the other way as the Palestinian death toll grows. Even European allies of the United States are divided on Israel's war, according to the outlet.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. officials also believe that Netanyahu has no plans for what to do. It's like for what to do with Gaza after Israel Defense Forces ground troops take some or all of it. Last Wednesday, the Pentagon reportedly asked Israel to delay the ground attack in order to give the U.S. more time to deploy air defenses in Iraq and Syria and buy time for negotiations to free some of the estimated 200 hostages held by Hamas. The ground invasion began last Friday with a complete communications blackout of the Palestinian enclave. On Wednesday, the IDF said 15 of its soldiers have been killed so far in the ongoing operations.
Mm-hmm. Which they don't even, they don't really care about the people that's working for them either. You know, they don't care about their soldiers. And then, I mean, you know, they're heathen. You know, but we're talking about a unwise king. They don't necessarily care about their subordinates, and they don't care about the ones that's in their particular lands. You see,
Right.
so I'm gonna go
They
ahead.
were okay. I was like,
Kind of you go ahead.
I was just gonna say they were gonna make moves to go in there and kill as many people as possible, man. Right? They said they lost 15 men, but they probably killed hundreds, right, of Palestinians in the last,
Mm-hmm.
however many days since they put boots on the ground. And like I said, the U.S. is trying to negotiate to get the hostages free, right? But they don't care. They could kill all the hostages. They could. It's as we went into last night at camp. This whole thing is an ethnic cleansing of that whole region, right? They
Mm-hmm.
want to get control over that whole landmass. So they're trying to get everybody out of that Gaza area.
Mm-hmm. Which I believe when you go into just going into that word Gaza, it's actually Izah, which means to be fortified or to be like strong. You know, strong, brave.
God,
Let me get these precepts. This is Bon Sirach chapter 10, and we'll get verse 4. It says, "The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set one over it that is profitable." All right. So the power of the earth is given to it is that in the hand of the Lord, you know. So it's on the Lord who set up for rulership. You know how it says this matters about the decree of the watchers and about a demand of the word of the holy ones, that the intent of the living may know that the Bible shot, because you get, I think it's Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17.
God,
I'm gonna run this back though. This is Bon Sirach chapter 10 and verse 4. It says, "The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set one over it that is profitable." All right, and the one that's going to be profitable is the nation of Yasharala. Are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians? All right,
right,
you know, because pretty much when we go to I'll show you Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2, it talks about how pretty much Esau rules the world in unrighteousness. You know, how everybody is mourning. All right, and that's because this devil um, doesn't show the earth to do benevolence. All right, he doesn't observe the land Sabbath. All right, he doesn't make sure that his subordinates, his inhabitants of his lands, are in a decent running state. Because the scriptures say, "Be diligent to know the state of thy flock," and that's not something that Esau does. We go get that.
God. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4, and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men.
Set up over even the basis of men. You know, so the Lord can give the power of the earth into anyone. You know, these heathen have had an opportunity to rule. You know, they messed up. You know, so now the nation of Israel is going to rule.
Right? Because when you go back
Um,
to that Sirach,
Con.
that word profitable goes into being beneficial, man. Right? So there's nothing beneficial about having Esau in rulership. We've seen, right? Every single every year, every day, every hour, every second, right? That Esau Edom is in rulership, we watch things begin to degenerate, man. Right? Because this man, like it says, he's the basest of men, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you read in Job, it talks about how he's viler than the earth, right? So every this man being in rulership, it can only go downhill. So that's why we're watching, the final collapse, man, because we're seeing this thing internally. It looks good on the outside, but we're watching it start to implode.
I got another one. This is Mashalia, Proverbs chapter 21. We get verse 1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will." You see, so these different rulers, those as such, you know, they feel like they're actually in power, but it's ultimately the Lord that's controlling everything. He's making he's using the angels to work on the minds of these kings, you know, so to control everything on earth, you know.
Okay.
This is I'm gonna finish out Bon Sirach chapter 10. It says, "In the hand of the Most High is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor." Well, I'm skip to verse 8. So it says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. All right, going to we got in this article, unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. All right, how did Esau come up into power? How did he get all everything that he has? How did he manifest destiny? How did he get all that gold? How did he get all this money? Through deceit. It says the kingdom is translated from one people to another. It says, why is earth and ashes proud? All right, because Esau is the basis of men. There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such an one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casts away his bowels. He doesn't have any integrity. He, like who's going into, he pretty much gets everything through rape, robbery, murder, and you know, uh, scratching and clawing his way to the top. Trying to or he snuck his way through the coat of arms. When we was in rulership in Europe. All right, it says the physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is a king today, so and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. All right, so in the future, that's what you Edomites, you so-called white people, have to look forward to. All right, when the Lord comes back. All right, because the scriptures say that he shall destroy them with the brightness of his coming. All right, going into how Esau's being exposed, you see, and then also when he comes back with the chariots.
Right. God. Yeah, because the world is finally seeing the true nature, right? Or they're acknowledging it, right? Because we've all seen it, but everybody's, finally acknowledging, right, the nature of these Edomites, man, right? So that's why we see the in-house fighting between the Russian Edomites and the American Babylonian Edomites, these Amalekites out there in Israel, and then we see, China, Iran, uh, Japan, India, all these nations, right, start to finally, buck up against the whore, man.
Mm-hmm.
All this time, right, and they're being exposed, and it's through deeds like this, man. Right, they're showing their true colors by making declarations like, they don't care about the civilian casualties, man. Right, but
Mm-hmm.
that's how you know we're at the end, because they don't care what the the public opinion says, man. They
Mm-hmm.
gotta push their these narratives forward. They gotta keep pushing toward these new world order agendas, man.
Kind of also it showed you that it's not a true democracy. Like the people's word has less value than what it actually does. So it shows you that he's a hypocrite. But I got two real fast. This is Proverbs, we'll show you chapter 11, and we'll get verse 10. It says, when it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoices, because the righteous is going to make sure that the city is inhabited. All right, the righteous is going to be ruling by the truth, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures. All right, it says the city rejoices. Everybody's going to be happy, and even these heathen in their respective lands after their slavery, they're gonna rejoice. They're gonna actually have peace. Right now they can't have peace. With Esau, when he makes these different treaties and stuff like that, he never holds his end of the bargain. So they're always getting the short end of the stick. So it says, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. That word shouting goes into Ranan, I believe. So when Ranan is singing, or the shortened version of Ranan is Ron, which goes into singing, crying, shouting. So everybody's gonna be happy because when we go to Isaiah chapter 14, talks about how the feller was laid down. The trees rejoice, and the trees being the men, and the actual trees, because Esau, he's destroyed the whole land. All right, we go to in that same chapter, Isaiah 14. It goes into the Babylonian king who actually destroyed the mountains, or the forest of Lebanon. You see, but in this time, Esau can be likened to the king of Babylon. Because he's destroyed everything, even the people, even the food, the air. This man got to go. So it says, by the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted. All right, everything is going to be exalted. The blessing ultimately going into the kingdom. All right, when we get the kingdom, the city is going to be exalted. All right, chiefly the nation of Israel. So it says, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. All right, everything is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. All right, because the scriptures say, uh, he walketh through the earth. His mouth walks through the earth. All right, he set his mouth against the heavens. So in doing that, and everybody taking on that spirit, it's going to be mass casualties and death and destruction everywhere. All right, because going back to where it says overthrown by the mouth of the wicked, what does the wicked speak? All right, when you speak, it's coming out of your mind. So that's essentially what's on 2/3 the heathen mind. You know, they're focused on they have that mindset of Esau Edom. You know, so, Psalms 10:3 to verse 5. All right, Job chapter 21. You know, pretty much their counsel is far from the Lord. All right, that's pretty much all I have.
Okay. I just got a quick one.
Okay.
This is Proverbs 16 and verse 12. It reads, "It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness."
Mm-hmm.
So what we see right now, is wickedness being established in the land, right? Throughout the entire earth, really. But in the Holy Land, that's why that land can't prosper, is because it's being established in wickedness, man. And we're seeing that wickedness continue to intensify, man, right? But like it read, the throne, the true throne, right, of Yahweh Shai is established by righteousness. So once that righteousness is established in the world, in the earth, the entire earth, right, including the people, can finally prosper, man, can finally be at ease, you know, because that wickedness is going to be removed. Esau, Edom is going to be removed out of the Holy Land, right? They're going to be put in chains for that 1,000 years, and then they're going to be completely done away with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the earth is finally going to be able to breathe a sigh of relief, right? Because that entity, that wicked vibration, is going to be completely eradicated, man.
Okay. You have anything else?
No, that was it.
With a Adawan Ratazaza Banayapa. Lord's will, that was a beautiful application through the spirit. Wadwan Taza Adam Yashi Wam Tawab. Lord's will, you have a good day. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close it out by saying, Call Halayim La, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Chak, Wadash. Hey, double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone that taught us the truth and rule well. And much respect to you, bros, that are pushing the truth with all righteousness and sincere. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Wow, Yahweh Mahar, Godspeed, shalom, shalom.